Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought we could talk a little bit about summer because the weather is actually really miserable here right now. I've walked you through how I quit my job and how hard that was for me. When I finally submitted my resignation, it was kind of like, what's next? The great thing was that I quit before the summer, so there was a lot to look forward to. The first thing we did this summer was actually to see Queen Bee for the Renaissance World Tour. So the decision-making process in deciding to go to the Amsterdam stop was I wanted to go somewhere new. I wanted to be somewhere that felt international. Amsterdam is known to feel very international. Fun fact, if you didn't know, the Dutch colonized South Africa, so there's a relationship there. Booked my tickets for Amsterdam. Mind you, when I was booking tickets, I had laptop, tablet, and phone device all ready to purchase tickets. I guess people were not so ham in this part of the world for those tickets, or the tickets that I was getting. I absolutely did not get Club Renaissance tickets. Nope. I also wanted to live, after Beyonce, but still got decent seats. Let's take our trip to Amsterdam. So arriving in Amsterdam, it was such a treat. The weather was A1, okay? The sun was shining, the vibes were good. Now, when you go to Amsterdam, they tell you that beware of the bikes. At first I was like, how bad could it be? No. Beware of the bikes, okay? The cyclists are more dangerous than cars. Amsterdam is absolutely beautiful. The canals, it's just kind of unreal. Well, it felt unreal for me. We actually stayed close to the concert venue because we just wanted ease of access in and out. On day one, we got to explore Amsterdam city. Don't ask me for names. I'm terrible at remembering off the cuff. We started off with a lunch at an Asian restaurant, which was really good. Side note, if you don't know already, Amsterdam is très expensive, okay? It's very pricey. So when you're going there, be ready to pay for your experience. However, what was very interesting was that typically it's easy to pay with card like everywhere. Sometimes they actually encourage you to pay with card and not cash. After our lunch, we decided to explore and walk around the city, just taking in the views. I was just, capturing different videos of the canals, the buildings, leading up to Amsterdam. I kind of was like, what would I want to see or what would I want to do? Unfortunately, by the time I was trying to look up what to do, tickets for the Van Gogh Museum were sold out. Tickets for the Anne Frank house were sold out. I guess the whole world was coming to see Beyonce and everything that Amsterdam had to offer. But we still enjoyed our experiences. We then went to a museum, which was absolutely beautiful. The ceiling was spectacular, just the way they set it all up. The staff were incredibly friendly, welcomed us, and just were, there are different segments to see. We saw actually a Van Gogh self-portrait, which I really like. Amongst other things, some fashion installations, which were really cool. For me, when I travel, I love to experience museums and galleries because I think it's really important to get cultured or to see something new. After our experience there, we decided it was time to get onto the canal. We bought tickets for the Canal tour. The tour guide was really fun and he shared some fun facts.
From left to right, you can see there from links naar rechts, Apollo, Cirrus, Mars.
He told us a lot about the houseboats that people buy and how actually they pay high taxes to have their houseboats on the water, on the canal. And he went on about how the cost of living is really high in Amsterdam. It's hard to find an accommodation or an apartment. So that was really fun. It was beautiful. We saw different aspects and parts of Amsterdam. And we also saw an old boat that's stationed somewhere. All in all, Amsterdam day one was fantastic. What I loved about Amsterdam was we walked into random restaurants or cafes and automatically they just greet you in English, even though they do speak Dutch, but they're very welcoming. What I really realized about Amsterdam too is it's quite integrated. I think as a post-colonial country, there are a lot of people from all over the world who live in Amsterdam. One of the things that told me how well integrated they are, we were on the metro and we heard two Nigerian friends talking, these men, these older men, and they were talking but loud and just like having a kiki, and then they got on and got off and it was all fine. It was very telling because when I'm in other parts of Europe that aren't as integrated, there are very few Black people, and at that they're almost invisible. You can hardly notice them or hear them. It's like we're still, like here, we're in Czech Republic, we're still a minority. And so you feel the difference, but there they just seem so comfortable to be there. And that was so wonderful for me to see. Also seeing like beautiful older Black women dressed well. And it was just really good for my spirit to see that. Day one was great, did a lot of walking, a lot of eating. So day two of Amsterdam was B-Day. It was the Renaissance World Tour Day. And that morning we decided to quickly go into the city again. We tried our luck at going to the Anne Frank house, but unfortunately tickets were sold out. We had checked online, but we're trying to just chance it. We also went shopping. The H&M experience was really interesting. It was multiple floors. This was in the city center, multiple floors, and it was mostly self-checkout. There was only like one point where you could get someone to check you out. And I was like, y'all really trust people, hey? Like, y'all must be honest, bro. And yeah, it was really cool. And then we headed back to the hotel to get ready for Beyonce. I must say, Amsterdam wasn't as intense as I'd seen other cities on TikTok. It was fairly okay. We had a ball, like getting ready, and my whole plan was to dress up for it. I wouldn't say I'm a beehiver. I just appreciate Beyonce, her work ethic, her music, her performance level. For me, going to Renaissance World Tour was just to be able to, in my lifetime, see such an icon performing. We were ready to go and we headed to our entrance. We got there about 2 hours early, and it was about 1.5 hours before gates were supposed to open, thinking that there was going to be a long queue. Lo and behold, we didn't have a queue at all, which was fantastic. And they just told us, come back at 5, it's fine. So we went to get a drink at a bar nearby, and then when it was time, we lined up and got in. It wasn't even much of lining up.
It's time already, shine already, it's time already.
And you arrived, and then there was like a Beyonce merch station where you could take photos. So I took photos by Beyonce big canvas, and then also got myself a bit of merch just to commemorate my experience. The prices were pricing, I'm not gonna lie. It was a little steep. Even the person actually selling the merchandise was like, when I was asking about different products, she's like, I don't know if it's worth it, but in the end, I got my memorabilia. Then we went in, we found our seats, and we had plenty of time, so we managed to go to the bar and get ourselves. We had some hot dogs, I think, and got drinks, and just ate before the show. And it progressively, obviously, got busier and busier. Yeah, got seated, and eventually she came out. She came out a bit late that night. Man, when she got on stage,
Amsterdam.
I just got so emotional. was the notion of, I've heard so much about this woman.
Told you, have you heard me, baby, but you don't care.
This icon. Living.
Now I'm crying in desert, baby.
And here she was. In front of me performing. So that was just so special. I got teary-eyed. She sang some ballads to begin. 1+1. I was just like, oh my gosh, really, Beyonce is someone you need to see once in your lifetime. Even if you're not a huge fan, I think it's worth your while. The concert was fantastic. Her dances. Her dances. Yo, like the talent just emanating from them. It really was a show. Beyonce spent money on that show. We all know she spent a lot of money on that show. It was fantastic, sang along. And it was a really special night for me. I will always treasure that. Blue didn't come out. We were hoping she'd come out. She actually came out the next day, but it's all good. It was all worth it. And just the energy. It felt the concert was long, but then too short. And you notice people outside just kind of lingering because you wanted more and kind of in awe of what you've experienced. And I think it was really special for me experiencing that night because, you know, in Break My Soul, she says, I just fell in love. And that was so true for me. I didn't realize it was such a moment for me to acknowledge that. And really seeing excellence at that level also reinforced for me, like, this life is not for us to just not be true to ourselves, whatever that is in your domain. We don't all have to be Beyonce's, but just to be able to live your life with excellence, doing what you feel you were made to do, that for me was just everything. We went home and went to bed actually. It was just such an overwhelming night. That was a really special moment for me. And I'll always remember Amsterdam. Amsterdam, I love you. It's such a special place if you ever get to go. I've been telling anyone and everyone who will listen, you should definitely check it out. So thanks you guys for watching part 1. Be sure to check out part 2.